Today, I'm going to find out if Claude AI is better than a real human FiveM developer. So you can see on my screen right now, I have set up two FiveM servers on the Qbox framework. One called Qbox Dev, one called Qbox AI, and they are both exactly the same, a completely empty Qbox base server. And right here on the right-hand side of my Visual Studio Code is Claude AI. And this time we are back to running Claude Fable 5. So this is going to be really interesting. Is Claude Fable 5 better than a real professional FiveM developer? So for the developer in question, we're using the trusted website Fiverr. This is like the only place I could think of getting ourselves a FiveM developer. I was looking through Fiverr, as you can see right here, tons and tons of people. A lot of them use AI created banners, and you know, I think that means they're going to be using AI in their scripts. We don't want to be testing AI against AI. So I found this guy right here, Sandro B. If we take a look at his posts, he is actually a 2-star rated seller on Fiverr. He has really good reviews. He has a bunch of different projects and things like that. He's done a custom FiveM server, and he will do one-day delivery, but not for £11. So I went ahead and messaged him and I asked him if he uses AI to make his custom scripts. And he was very adamant that he does not use AI, apart from some small translation. He did say that there won't be any slop designs from AI. So in the end, I actually asked him to go ahead and make us a player-owned business system for our Qbox server. And that is the script that both the AI and the developer have made for us, or are going to make for us today. I gave him an outline of the features that I want, and I literally said nothing else. He asked me if I have an idea of the UI. I sent a screenshot which looked like this, just a general AI. He actually told me it looks like AI, but he likes the idea and he will make it a little bit better. So fair enough. I threw a rough idea for a price. I said $75, and he came back at me with 100, and he'll finish it tomorrow. So I created that order and he told me it'd be ready the next day. And fair enough, the next day, actually early, it was indeed ready. He sent me a fully custom business system that he made from scratch. Now, before we go ahead and test that FiveM script, we need to go ahead and give Claude the exact same information. But let's go ahead and make sure, first of all, we are in Fable 5. So switch model, Fable 5. Let's put our thinking on high. Barry, we'll put it on, should we put it on max? Ultra code. We'll put it on ultra code. I think that's fair enough. Now, we're going to give it the exact same things we gave the real developer on Fiverr, because I don't want it to be unfair. We're going to ask the exact same thing, give it the exact same requirements, and see what it can build for us. So first of all, I'm going to type myself up a little prompt. Okay, I've typed up the prompt. It just says pretty much what I said to the Fiverr developer, which I think is a fair comparison. You know, if I gave the Fiverr developer tons of information, I probably could have done better. And I said at the end, it must work with my server, which is Qbox. Before we press enter and find out what Claude can do with Fable 5, let's head back on over to test our custom FiveM developer's script. So I've gone ahead and downloaded the script that the FiveM developer made for us, and that's the thing we're going to test first. Okay, so right here in the center of the screen is our custom script. We have an SQL, which I assume we need to run the SQL. He hasn't actually shared any information on how to install it. You know, you sort of have to understand. We've got a shared folder, a server folder, locals folder. We've got a HTML, client, bridge, and then an FX manifest. So yeah, we don't have a README, so I guess we sort of just have to figure it out ourselves. Fair enough, it would be nice for a README. However, let's go ahead and install this into our server. So we're going to be setting this up in our Qbox dev server. We'll go to our directory, we'll go to our resources folder, and we will go ahead and add it on in. So let's place it on in. It actually doesn't have a folder containing it, which is interesting. So we'll make a folder ourselves. We'll just call it Highway Business. Highway _business. Boom. Okay, so we will drag and drop all of these into here, just like that. And now we'll ensure that folder name. We'll import that SQL, and we should be good to go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and ensure it. I assume I can just ensure it after everything else. So we'll put it under here. We'll do a nice little bit of organization, custom script, and then we'll do ensure, paste on in that folder name, and we'll give it a save. So let's get started and see what happens. Okay, we started it. I don't think I see any errors from the actual script itself. Is it running? We'll go ahead and check if it's running. First of all, it was called Highway Business. Should we give it a restart? We'll see if that makes any difference, if we can see the errors a bit clearer. Okay, so it restarted. We have no errors. That's always nice. Let's have a look through the code. Let's have a look at what we can see. So the shared folder, we have a config, which is nice. here, there's a couple of things we can configure by the looks of things. So we have the debug, obviously. We have the config name and ACE permissions. Didn't explain that. We have the command HB admin. We have refill values, refill ticks. That's for the petrol stations. And we have the price for how much you need to refill. We have models. We have cash and bank payment methods to enable and disable. We can customize the vehicle, the delivery locations. Pretty good customization, to be fair. One telltale sign this hasn't been made by AI is the fact that there's no hashtag and then explaining everything. Usually AI will go something like this. It'll do a couple hashtags and then it will go, this is the line for setting permissions, something like this. That's how you know a lot of things are done by AI. Obviously, a good developer will organize their work well. So let's have a look through a couple of the other files he's done. We got the seed stations. We have types. It is pretty self-explanatory script. And then here we have a bunch of the lures for all the configurations. So we have the shop lures, which is where all the shop locations will be configured, I would assume, and how you interact with them. And it's the same for everything else here. That's the server side. And then, of course, we do have the client folder, which will be how you interact with it as the client. Now we've reviewed a professional FiveM developer's code. Let's take a look what Claude can do. We're going to press enter and see what Claude makes for us. Okay, so it's doing its thing. It said, I'll build this as a complete Qbox resource. First of all, it's scouting our server, so the integration points, inventory target, database notifications match exactly what we run. And you can see it's asking for a bunch of PowerShell things. Okay, so a little insight into the process of Claude. You can see as it's going, I need to make it so it auto does this, but it's giving us a to-do list. So it's installed the resource for the exact APIs. It's now going to design the business system, implement the resource, adversarial multi-agent code review, whatever that is, and install into the server.cfg and write a README. So already that little README is better than what the real developer did. However, I don't reckon the UI and the quality of the script will be quite as good. However, Fable 5 might blow us away. Okay, and now 429 seconds in, so actually only 5 minutes, felt a lot longer. I think it might have been longer. It is done the design for the business system, which is the data, the model, the events, the config schema. That was around like 30 or 40,000 tokens just to do that. Now it's got to implement it. So I reckon the main bit of it is done. It's made the script. It's just installing it. It'll check it and then it'll give it to us. Okay, so Claude actually took so much resources, so many tokens, and took so long to get this far. We have hit our session limit for the next 3 hours, which I think is about a 5-hour rolling basis for Claude. We can't even continue without paying more because of how much tokens the maximum ultra processing thought was with Fable 5. Okay, and finally, I don't even know how long this took. We are indeed done. Claude Fable 5 has made us a fully player-owned business system built and installed in our standalone folder. It starts automatically. It's made all the ensure lines. It creates its own database tables automatically. It integrates with our server. All of the requirements that we listed are covered. 2 things you should know: it patched a bug, and the example coordinates are an approximate apparently. So I really hope after all of this time it took, I really hope it actually works. I even had to renew my tokens. I had to buy £15 more of tokens. I kept trying to get it to carry on, and finally it did when I bought my tokens, and you can see it was just troubleshooting. It took ages, but anyway. So here is our server, our Qbox AI server. We'll give it a start. Everything should load as normal, and we shouldn't see any errors from our new script. If we do, I think I might just never use Claude again. But you can see we don't have any errors besides just ones that already came with the base server files, which is just some SQL errors. I don't see any errors to do with our script, and I think it has loaded in fine. We'll check our resource monitor. HT businesses is running. Perfect. We'll give it a restart just so we can check any errors in particular. No errors. Everything is running. And now, before we try the Claude AI FiveM scripting game, we need to go back and take a look at our Fiverr FiveM developers FiveM script in game. Okay, so back on over to the FiveM developer server. Let's start the server up, load in game, and test this new script. Okay, we have loaded in game. The server loads as you expect. He hasn't really messed with that, but here you go. I can see on our maps we have shops, and I assume we have petrol stations. Now, I can only assume, based off the script, that You know, this is where we go to for everything to work. Maybe we'll check the configs and see the specific locations. Okay, so we are here in the config and we're trying to find the locations. This is where we find everything. So there's actually quite a few set up here. We got all the gas stations. Let's go ahead and teleport to one of them here. We'll go to the David gas station. Okay, I am at the David's gas station. There doesn't seem to be any particular like markings to the gas stations. This just seems to be the ones that come with Qbox from standard. But somewhere in here, we should be able to go ahead and buy this gas station. And I guess we should be able to manage it. So let's have a look what we have got. Okay, so I went into the admin menu. The command was /HB admin. I don't know why it's HB. Fair enough. And we're at David gas station right here. We can actually rename it, which is pretty cool. And here you can see the buy price, the balance, the blip name, etc, etc, and we can assign an owner. So we have to put in their service ID and click assign owner and it should work. I actually don't know how you go ahead and buy it, the location to buy it. Okay, so I've been looking around to try and find how the hell I buy the gas station, and it turns out that he has only implemented the transfer, so I have to actually do it via the admin menu. You guys can see he actually just replied right now. Fair play to this developer, he replies pretty much as quick as AI. So we need to use the admin menu to give ourselves the gas station, and then we should be good to go. Okay, so if we put in our ID, we click assign owner. Boom, owner has been assigned. I think now the boss menu should be here. So yeah, here we go, boss menu. We should be able to access the boss menu, which we indeed can. I actually don't know why it's out here. It's an interesting location, but we should be able to clock in. Okay, and we've clocked in as owner. We can start a fuel delivery. We can buy some stock. We can edit the stock, I think. Yeah, okay, here we go. We can set the price. Stock. We can't edit the stock levels. I guess that's when people buy them. Let's go buy stock and see if it goes down real quick. So let's go into the store, open, register. Okay, no. Where is the shop? Why can't we buy anything? Okay, interesting. I think the shop is out here for some reason. Oh, it is. Okay, well... I don't know why it's out here, but that's interesting. So if we buy a burger and we do cash, I like that. That's pretty cool, actually. We should check the boss menu. Stock. Burger gone down. Okay, I get it. I get it. We can add employees by using the server ID. We can add money to the business account. You can see we only have $15. That's because it went from my personal account to the business account. That's pretty cool. I think we can set the fuel prices, maybe? Yeah, fuel. Okay, we can set the price of fuel. I don't know how the fuel then reflects here, though. Like when you fill up as a person. I don't know. Let's go ahead and give the delivery mission. There you go. Oh, okay, we've blown up. Interesting. Okay, so in hindsight, I don't think the developer should have put the delivery mission right here. So I have just exploded. We'll try that again. Now that we have no gas pumps, so maybe we should be able to do it. In all fairness, I haven't gave any feedback to the developer. Apparently, we're already in a delivery mission. Just so you guys can see, we have 0 errors in our server console. I am going to go ahead and restart the script so we can try that delivery mission, and then we can move on to the AI. If you guys are looking to set up your next FiveM server without using AI to make dodgy, broken FiveM scripts, be sure to check out my company, htnetwork.one. You can get yourself a fully modded auto-install FiveM server that you can set up in one click on your own PC, as well as VPS server hosting for really, really competitive prices, all in the link down in the description below at www.htnetwork.one. Okay, I've restarted the script. We should now be able to hopefully try the delivery mission one more time. Now we have no gas stations to blow up or gas pumps. We should be okay. Okay, we're good now. I've no clipped us away, but we now have to drive to the location set on our map to get fuel, I guess. Then we drive back to here and we should be able to fill it up. Okay, so we're pulling up wherever the hell we need to fill up with fuel. Okay, there. Load fuel supply. We're loading. Oh, my game has crashed. Now, I don't think that's actually anything to do with the script. I reckon that's just FiveM being crap. Okay, and we are approaching again. This time, hopefully we don't crash. We should load the fuel and hopefully it works. Okay, boom, and it works. I don't think that crash was anything to do with the script. We have just spent money on it, actually, which is interesting. Does that make sense? You have to pay for the fuel, whatever, so you have to make profit. It adds that business aspect. Pretty cool. Let's go ahead and drive back to the gas station. Okay, arriving back at the gas station, following the route, we should be able to drop it off here somewhere. Okay, there you go. Unload fuel at station. Pressing E, and we're unloading the fuel. And I guess now when we check the fuel level, it should work. Boss menu. Yeah, and we've got full fuel. This guy's still trying to fight us. What the hell? Okay, so after speaking with the developer on Fiverr, we actually can change the locations ourselves in the admin menu for the coordinates of this thing right here. So if we do /hb admin, I think we actually looked at that earlier. Yeah, we can. We can change the coordinates of the boss menu, the shop, delivery, spawn, pick. So if we put the boss menu, we'll put it in the back of the computer, for example. We will go Davis Gas. We will go to pick, press E. Okay, and it has set, and we do save changes, and boom. Boss menu is here. Okay, it's working. Fair enough. I think that's about it. The script is really, really well made, easy to use, not many bugs. The actual bugs that we've come across is just like use case problems. That's probably because he didn't provide us a README. You know, we can change everything. We can even change the delivery locations in the config. Really nice and easy so that pump exploding thing won't happen. This is really good. And of course, we can go ahead and add our own gas stations. If we have a look in the admin menu right here, we can add custom ones with custom coordinates and everything, which is really cool. So you can even set it up with custom interiors without even having to do config stuff. You can do it live in the server. So fair play to that developer. They've done a really, really good job. So let's dive on in to the AI server and take a look at that script. We have loaded in game, and I don't think we have any errors in particular. Doesn't look like we have any errors to do with our script. Something to do with QB vehicle shop. I think that's just the Qbox framework being broken. We'll press F8. Can't see any particular errors to do with our script. I'm at a gas station. I can't see anything really standing out on the map, just the gas station things again. One thing to note, in the bottom right-hand corner is loading game. It is stuck on 2%, which is interesting. Definitely wasn't there on our previous server or with the one the dev made. But let's check the README it gave us because nothing really stands out on our map and see how we use it. Okay, so I've checked over the scripts and actually it does stand out on the map. You can see we have things on our map for sale. Like we have Strawberry 24/7 for sale, Burger Shop for sale. That's actually pretty cool little touch. I like that. And you can see on the README, it does say that. Walk to a business office point. Unknown businesses show buy business interaction map blips in brackets for sale. Payment tries bank first, then cash. Every business gets bank renewed. Okay, well, let's go ahead and buy a business. I guess the one we're at right now isn't for sale. So we'll go over to the 24/7. Doesn't seem like there's any gas stations though. I sort of had gas stations in mind. I don't think we have any gas stations for sale, to be honest with you. They just all seem to be stores. But not sure if I specified it actually in our requirements. But let's go over to this store and see how this works. So we're at the store. Somehow we need to be able to buy this now. So I guess it's somewhere here. Open register. So it's not here. I have no idea where these coordinates are meant to be. Maybe in the back. Okay. E try combination. Nope, that's the safe. E business office. Purchase the convenience store for $125,000. I don't even think we have that in our bank account. We do not. And it's also interacting with the safe at the same time. E stockroom business office. Okay, that's annoying. Well, let's give ourselves some cash. I was expecting to use the third eye to interact, but instead it's interaction menu, which is fine. I guess it works better. We now should be able to buy it. You can see it's interacting with this combination safe. I guess that's probably not in all of them, but it's quite annoying. Click confirm, and we have now purchased it. And here, this safe is very annoying. Here, we should be able to, we'll just have to ignore the safe. We should be able to, yeah, we have a deposit for our account. We can hire staff. We can order stock like water. We'll try ordering 2 water. Boom. Did that work? Oh, we have to confirm the order, but I don't think it will work because we have nothing in our account. But okay, that's pretty cool. The one thing is it doesn't really have any cool UI. It just uses the OX, but it's really well made, to be fair. So we can rename the business to 24/7 HDN store, confirm, and I think it works. The menu doesn't pop up again. It's pretty annoying. But stock room, I guess we can put a burger in there. Fair enough. That's interesting. I quite like how that pulls in the inventory. This is cool. It's a different approach to what the FiveM developer did. Sell the business. I don't really know what else we can do here. We might have to go ahead and check the README. I don't really think there's anything else in particular that we can do. We can open the shop here, which doesn't seem to be working, actually. Okay, it is working. And the burger is there, which I guess was that inventory that I put in, which is funny. So we could buy the burger. Yeah, and it works. Okay. Okay, so we can do delivery missions. We'll have to try those. Adding a business, pick or create, type in a config. So you have to do it in the config. It's a bit more manual than the one the FiveM developer made. I think that is AI not quite understanding that human point of view, which is interesting perspective to have it. As admin, we don't have an admin menu. We only have to show the shop owner biz/admin to repossess account balances paid out to the former owner. Interesting. Business IDs, bank account, renewed banking. Rename business does not renew the banking account label. It knows its limitations. It's fair enough. I want to try the delivery missions. I think the rest of it is working pretty fine. I don't think we have any errors in our console. But yeah, it's a completely different approach. Yeah, we don't have any errors in our console, but it is a completely different approach to what we had before. We also have a stock room, which is also right next to a safe. You can see right here, which is annoying, but we should be able to go to the stock room. Yeah, here is our burger. That's fair enough. And as for the delivery missions, order stock, I guess we have to order the stock first and then we run a delivery mission. So we do need to deposit some cash. Okay, deposited cash, order stock. We'll order some water. We'll do 10 waters. And we'll add some sandwiches. We'll do 10 sandwiches. Boom. And then we can confirm order. I like how you can add things to your cart, basically. Confirm order. Order placed. Take the van to the supplier warehouse and load one box and use cancel delivery to abort. I like how it gives us a command. And here is our delivery vehicle. It spawned it sideways, but you know, it's cool at least. We'll hop on in and we have our waypoint set. Interesting to note that on the one the developer made, it set our personal waypoint and a mission waypoint. This one just as a mission waypoint, which is maybe a little bit smoother. Okay, so arriving at this mission, which is where we should pick up our stock, it's actually done a pretty good location. You know, it makes sense. In here, apparently, is where we get our stock. And it opens, which I guess it would do anyway, but at least it knows it's found the right one to open. I don't know what we do now. Pick up box. We're picking up a box. We go to the back of the vehicle, load box into van. Hey, that's pretty cool. It doesn't open the doors, but there we go. And now we should be able to get back in and carry on our mission, I guess. Yeah, okay, there we go. And now we can go back to the store and drop off the things we just picked up for our delivery. Okay, and here we are back from the delivery. So I guess we park up here, we get on out, and we go to the back, get the box out. Okay, there we go, picking up the box. We get the prop, which is actually a really nice touch. This woman's in my way. And we go into the store. I guess we go to the stock room here. And we should be able to, I guess, somewhere just put it in here. I don't know where we put it. Okay, so I'm trying to find the delivery point. You can see the coordinates right here. And if I do /TP to the coords, we just fall through the map. So I don't know what we're meant to do here. I think the coordinates are actually off because I think it's spawning us on top of the roof. Because if we have a look at here, which is more or less where it looks like we should be able to drop it off, it doesn't seem to be working. So this is pretty confusing. Okay, so in this situation, we'll cancel the delivery because, yeah, it ain't working. The coordinates, which you could very easily change. Use our F8 menu to get our V chords by doing, you know, the command in the F8 menu. It is relatively straightforward to change them, but you would expect the AI to be able to put sufficient coordinates. It's done pretty much everything else. This definitely doesn't work. And for the amount of money that we just spent on Claude with Fable 5 and time, you would think it would just work. With the developer of the FiveM script, I pretty much had to change nothing. There were no issues, no bugs. He just added features. Okay, so that was in game. It was pretty good. It was a completely different approach compared to the real human developer. So let's have a look at the actual file structure. So right here, we are in our file explorer. As you guys can see, obviously it was installed into our resources folder, and then it was installed into a standalone folder, which sort of makes sense because it is standalone in a way. It does actually require Qbox, so I wouldn't really say it's standalone, but HTN businesses or HT businesses is where I put it. And it is a pretty good little script, pretty nicely made. We have our SQL file, which auto imported. We have our README, which is what our human developer didn't have. Pretty thought through. You guys saw that earlier. Pretty informative, and it is useful. So now let's touch on the cost between the two. You can see my order on Fiverr was $100. And then I think there was a couple extra fees on top with Fiverr's cut. So it came to about £85. And he's actually been really reactive. He's added the ability to buy gas stations. You guys saw that it wasn't doing that earlier, but now players can buy it without having to be transferred it. He's added a revenue share. I didn't even ask for this. He's done a really, really good job. Something AI doesn't have that personal touch. Then for Claude, you guys can see in the bottom left-hand corner here, I'm on the max plan. And if we go to settings and we go to our usage, right here, I use all of my current session usage. Bearing in mind, this is not my maximum weekly or monthly limit, just my current session limit, but it's really annoying. I pay for the most expensive one, £75 for the max plan, and I hit a session limit with the Fable 5, and I had to buy new ones to keep going over the top. You can see I had to add 15 or 20, apparently. I've added £25 to my current balance, and I spent £9.60 just doing those final bits. So it's actually more or less cost exactly the same. I'll put on screen which one costs which. You guys decide. Let me know down in the comment section what you would use. Would you use AI with Fable 5, or would you use a real FiveM developer?